training to keep the peace or to kill the problem.
Entre columna de frente.
In Venezuela, there are two views about these still green police recruits. One sees them at the vanguard of a law and order revolution. A rare chance to defeat violent crime in a place where it thrives.
Avanzar.
The other view has them as likely recruits to a brutal, secret war, where crime is the stated enemy, but there's no line between law and murder. Where police write tickets, direct traffic, and kill. Saturday night, and Venezuela's capital is braced for the surge of violence expected each weekend. Typically, by Monday morning, 80 to 100 Venezuelans are dead, attacked, stabbed, shot over the two-day break. At Caracas University Hospital, accident and emergency doctors have become almost shock-proof.
And now the amount of trauma that you see here is mostly wounds, not car accidents.
Okay, what we're seeing here is a 29-year-old man, okay, who got a gunshot in his right leg.
The shooting has started. Eladio Jose Bastidas and his 5-year-old son.
And his kid got shot too, but was just like a flesh wound on one knee. So he's out of danger.
The doctors say this is classic Caracas gang warfare. Terrify the enemy with a bullet in the leg. It's a signal. We're prepared to kill you. If it is gang rivalry, Mr. Bastidas probably does know who shot him, and he's still in danger, even here. Venezuelan gangs often pay hospital visits. They've done so twice in this hospital alone in recent months.
We don't even know who it was and what happened. He just came in here and shot him.
A gunman burst through the hospital, carried out an execution and left.
And walked out.
The mayor of this city telephoned Bill Bratton.
How many similarities are there with what you did in New York and what you're doing here?
There are a lot of similarities. One, a lot of crime. Two, it is the #1 concern of the population. 3, it is growing. 4, the police are thought to be ineffective with dealing with it.
Se cambia, pues se van rotando porque el crimen va rotando también y nosotros también tenemos que ir rotando.
In Caracas, Jefe Ricardo Núñez is the highest-ranking motorcycle cop, and he's a Bill Bratton convert. When he takes us for a night raid into a suburban slum we wouldn't be safe walking in the daytime, he's not after crime bosses or drug dealers from neighbouring Colombia. He's applying the Bratton broken windows philosophy. Deal with petty crime first and let everyone know you're doing it. Others call it zero tolerance. Here they're frisked for simply being on the street.
Cuando se ve un sujeto, se presume pues que está delinquiendo. Por eso es que lo que hacemos es que lo chequeamos, le verificamos su documentación y si está normal, bueno, se le deja su circulación.
With its 8,000 murders a year, Venezuela is betting on the notion that turned New York into one of America's safest cities. The first crimes to tackle are the smallest of crimes.
Trying to deal with the graffiti problem, which is horrific in this city. There's not a wall in the city that's not covered with this stuff, but it gives that sense of where are the police, where are the controls.
Is this a bigger problem than New York in the early 90s?
Oh, certainly. Bigger in that they have less resources to work with, a much less sophisticated police department, and a very disjointed criminal justice system to work on the problem.
Whether Mr. Bratton will make a difference, I doubt very much indeed, because there is no evidence that his input has made any difference to me.
Scottish-born Rod Burns is an asset manager and a survivor of an experience as common here as it is brutal.
These are known in Venezuela as express kidnappings, where they keep you for 2 or 3 hours, then they let you go. There's no police involvement, they get the money very quickly from frightened families and concerned families, and they just disappear.
4 hooded gunmen bashed him, bundled him in a car and terrorised him on a drive around Caracas. They insisted the 44-year-old take them to his apartment. His wife and young daughter were there.
I refused, at which time the person in the passenger seat put the gun in my mouth and said, "We're going to kill you."
There was one other chilling aspect to Rod Burns' kidnapping, and as you'll see, it fits a pattern in Venezuelan crime.
I did 14 years in the armed forces in Britain, and you're taught how to speak very quickly and move very quickly to put pressure on the person that you're dealing with, and these chaps are very, very well trained.
They'd had training way beyond an ordinary criminal.
Beyond doubt, beyond doubt. These people, without any doubt, were either current or ex-armed forces or police.
Policia control Caracas.
Tenemos lo siguiente, la policía del estado Vargas nos reporta que en un enfrentamiento que tuvo allí la policía metropolitana con 6 personas que después resultaron muertas.
There's talk of police wounded by armed drug dealers.
El armamento fueron armas, pistolas o revólver.
Fueron pistolas en su mayoría.
Mira, está preso.
And of a ferocious gun battle on a suburban beach. The following morning we go to Vargas Beach, expecting police tape around a heavily guarded crime scene. Hardly. All that's left is a few crusty blood patches stomped on by morning swimmers, and one terrified bar owner who insists he'll only talk about what he saw police do if we take him well away from the beach.
Aquí hay muchos abusos de la autoridad. No de todas, pero sí. Hay muchos abusos de la autoridad. Porque es que los matan como unos perros. Y no puede ser así.
Danis Saavedra says he was serving the 6 accused drug dealers drinks.
Nada. Fue de sorpresa. De sorpresa cayeron, plum, y listo, pam, 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 pam.
He believes just one of his customers had a weapon, but he didn't get close to using it.
No le dio tiempo.
So what of the gun battle? Resisting arrest, the injured witnesses, all discussed at police control while we were there.
Sí, es correcto. Los ciudadanos se resistieron al arresto policial. Y ellos esgrimen sus armas de fuego, efectúan disparos a la comisión policial y donde hay el intercambio entre estos señores ciudadanos integrantes de esa banda, ya nombrada, y la policía.
And all reported in the Venezuelan media.
No, eso es mentira. Yo estaba ahí. No hubo enfrentamiento. Fue masacre.
What would he call it?
¿Qué fue?
Masacre.
And if Caracas police knew what Danis Saavedra was telling us, that he'd witnessed the law carry out a multiple execution?
Dejaría de existir. Dejaría de existir.
A mí no me sorprende ya nada.
He's not kidding. I thought I could shock Caracas Police Commissioner Ivan Simonovas by telling him Danis Saavedra's account of police murdering 6 beachgoers.
Commissioner, we've been told those 6 deaths weren't the result of a shootout, that they were a police execution. Does that surprise you?
No. I'm surprised for that.
It doesn't surprise you.
No. Because I know what we have in the police organization.
It's here the task for the police commissioner implementing Bill Bratton's plan starts to look daunting. Among Venezuelan police, there's widespread support for fellow officers who kill accused criminals. The commissioner has already sacked 400 police, an effort to clean out crooked cops. But even he admits his instincts tend towards summary justice.
Cuando no podemos eliminar al individuo, me da rabia. Pero lamentablemente, pues, es la ley y hay que respetarla.
In fact, the law here is no more respected than that patch of blood-soaked sand, trampled by a belief that only brutal measures will stop crime.
No tenemos más alternativas, es decir, las autoridades tienen que hacer las cosas que se hicieron anoche si queremos que esto salga adelante.
Not all agree with police as executioners, though among those we spoke with on Vargas Beach, no one doubts it happens.
Los policías son los mismos criminales que tenemos aquí.
Sí pasa, porque a veces el delincuente es un padre de familia.
La semana pasada un guardia nacional me echó un carro, o sea, se me fue con un dinero de una venta de 15,000 y pico de bolívares. Entonces, ¿en qué se puede creer aquí en este país? ¿Ah?
Estas cosas van a cambiar, porque tienen que cambiar. El mundo obliga a que cambien, pero son cuestiones de cambios de la sociedad.
Aren't the settings in North America and Latin America simply too different for your plan to succeed?
I don't know what the situation is in your country, but most countries in this world are experiencing crime increases. America is continuing to experience a crime decrease. A lot of our experiences are transferable, replicable, not cookie cutter, but they can be modified to different circumstances.
But some argue Bill Bratton crossed a divide in attitudes when he came south, a change in culture where crime is concerned, meaning his policing simply can't work here. Caracas is by no means Venezuela's worst case of the system turning criminal to get the criminals. 6 hours drive southwest of the capital into Portuguesa province is a town where the business of killing has taken a quantum leap. This is Acarigua. The 180,000 who live here shop in streets lined with shotgun-wielding security guards. The graffiti reads, "Death to criminals." That seems to have been the police objective as officers burst into Mariela Mendoza's home early one morning.
Agarran a mi hermanito que estaba dormido, lo paran por los pelos, se lo llevan hacia el patio.
They then dragged her 2 other brothers out, leaving the young mother and her niece to listen.
Comienzo a escuchar tiros y tiros y tiros y tiros y tiros y tiros. Y yo le digo a mi cuñada, los están matando. Mi cuñada le dio una crisis de nervio y me dice, sí, Mariela, los están matando.
Local papers published pictures of the 3 bullet-riddled corpses. The police response? They'd been caught in a gun battle. Forensic tests showed 2 of the young men died kneeling.
Pasa un testigo y ve, ¿verdad? Entonces los policías le dispararon.
Apparently, police had blamed the Mendozas for an earlier bus robbery.
Another bullet.
Sí.
Though evidence since suggests the 3 were innocent.
Aquí mataron a uno.
So what happens to a policeman here who not only turns killer, but kills the wrong people?
En la comisaría. Están trabajando todavía.
The killers of your brothers are still working police officers today?
Sí, están trabajando. En la comisaría. A ellos no les importa matar a cualquiera. Es que no fueron a mis hermanos nomás que mataron. Fueron muchas personas que ellos ajusticiaron.
Entiende que aquí tenemos a veces la Esther. ¿Uno conoce lo que llama la Esther? Exactamente.
Acarigua ice cream seller Yairo Diaz is chatty about the shadowy group he knows as the Extermination Squad. He sees it as pest control.
No, pero para muchas ratas que hay aquí, porque aquí hay unas ratas que no sirven para nada.
Aquí una rata que le quitan a cualquiera los zapatos, pues, han matado gente hasta por quitarle los...
¿Y a esas ratas qué habría que hacerles?
Coño, mandarlos para allá, para el cementerio nuevo que está allá.
Locals, like mobile advertising announcer Gonzalo Castillo, and friends at the Acarigua gambling hall attribute more than 100 recent executions here to the death squad. Public opinion on this chilling campaign to cleanse the area of crime is as fickle as picking a winner.
Y el que mata se convierte en verdugo.
Though Mr. Castillo says when the murders eased last year amid a national fuss, local anger surged.
Ahora retomado con más fuerza porque ven que nadie la frena. O sea, el pueblo pide a grito que vuelva otra vez ese ajusticiamiento, ¿verdad? Que vuelva ese grupo otra vez, lo pide el pueblo.
And a new spate of killings this year suggests the extermination squad is sensitive to public opinion. Lawyer Miguel Augusto is another who says he doesn't support the practice, but the town certainly does.
El pueblo está un poquito más tranquilo porque en realidad se han eliminado a los delincuentes, pues eso es lo que afecta al pueblo y bueno, el pueblo no se queja.
So who's behind Acarigua's mass executions? In a town where even the pizza shop has a shotgun at the door, locals dare not ask. But our efforts to find out led us to this former police intelligence officer.
Al principio no concebí realmente la profundidad del planteamiento. Y ella no, como está firmando, entonces...
Juan de Dios Perea agreed to take us on an unnerving drive through Acarigua, repeating a journey he made 18 months ago, to a meeting at this house.
Una vez en la reunión, él me hizo entrega de esta lista. Me hizo entrega de estas listas con estos nombres para que organizara un grupo para aniquilarlos.
Juan has no doubt what the small group of men present wanted him to do with the names on the list.
Aniquilarlos, matarlos, e incluso ofreció dinero por cada uno de ellos. Para comenzar la operación, él ofreció 5 millones de bolívares para gasto de logística y para gastos operativos.
On this, his first trip back, Juan wants to check any links here with the person he says led that meeting and offered him the money.
Buenas noches. Si es tan amable, mire, una pregunta. Acá viene el mayor Pérez Pérez.
¿Vive?
No vive, sino ustedes son amigos del mayor Pérez Pérez.
Sí.
Okay.
Juan says he refused the offer made at the meeting here, and when the murders started anyway, went into hiding, fearing for his life. He's convinced he was chosen to lead the killers of Acarigua and was offered the job by the mastermind.
En absoluto. No tengo la duda. Rodrigo Pérez Pérez se convirtió en un mercader de la muerte.
It's an astonishing claim to make. Rodriguez Perez Perez is a government minister.
We think it's the one just here on the left, don't we?
This one here.
Yeah.
De una naturaleza delicada.
In fact, he's the state's security minister, and his guard insists we write to request an interview.
Dear Major Perez Perez, we're sorry to bother you on a Sunday morning.
But soon enough, we're invited for coffee.
Buenos dias, Major Perez.
And to meet the accused merchant of death.
Rechazo totalmente eso. Rechazo totalmente.
At the same time, there is no doubt, sir, that you have been security minister overseeing a police force that includes, at least in part, some murderers. Fair comment?
Y por eso, teniendo en cuenta eso, fue que en el mismo mes de septiembre, a fines de septiembre del año pasado o principios de octubre, solicitamos, comprende, responsablemente, la ayuda del Ministerio del Interior y Justicia para que nos ayudara en este asunto.
He insists the death squad meeting described by Juan de Dios Perea never took place.
Aquí están esta lista, mire, estos son los que no, por Dios, no.
But Major Perez does champion an argument often raised in defence of death squads. Many Venezuelans see them as making up for a court system that simply isn't delivering justice.
Declaraciones mías en la prensa, en la radio, inclusive en la televisión, siempre he señalado que esa no es la solución no es ajusticiar.
Hay impunidad indiscutible, no solo en relación a la violación de los derechos humanos, sino también en relación a la corrupción.
33 years a judge, Jorge Rosell quit Venezuela's Supreme Court in disgust. The court had cleared a traffic policeman of any wrongdoing after he shot dead an unarmed motorist for failing to stop.
Entonces yo no podía seguir ni en ese Tribunal Supremo y fundamentalmente tampoco podía seguir, claro, indiscutiblemente, en esa sala penal que justificaba la política del exterminio. O sea, tomar en cuenta la lucha, entre comillas, contra la delincuencia como un problema de guerra, como un problema eminentemente militar. La última clase, ustedes me traen...
The 60-year-old now lectures other legal professionals on topics including the death squads.
Esto es una verdad innegable, nadie puede negarla, es absurdo decir que no existen grupos dentro de los cuerpos policiales que tienen como política definida proceder a matar o a exterminar.
Y eso lo saben jueces, fiscales, abogados, gobernadores, a todos los niveles en Venezuela.
From the very highest level of Venezuela's justice system, this rebel judge watched his judicial colleagues sanction executions on the one hand and take bribes to free criminals on the other. As an exercise, Jorge Rosell's class surveyed spending among Venezuelan judges.
Vehículos último modelo, viajes a Europa con la familia, casas en la playa, etc.
And compared it with the judges' salaries.
Y determinamos que por lo menos era 31 jueces cuyo movimiento era no 5, no 6, no el doble, sino 100 veces mayor a lo que recibían como sueldo.
A judicial system hopelessly addicted to bribes, routinely freeing criminals, and so feeding the very fear that drives a public demand for death squads.
Los jueces de municipio, distrito, instrucción, primera instancia, superior, he pasado por todas las instancias. A mí me consta que ese poder judicial por donde yo pasé había mucha corrupción, mucha corrupción.
Venezuela is applying Bratton policing in just one impoverished area of Caracas. Bill Bratton says murders are already down here by more than 1/4, and his approach has its supporters. Portuguese's state security minister is one of them.
Y estuve muy bien impresionado porque inclusive cuando él habló aquello de cero tolerancia.
One of the reasons why I did this project for so little money, I'll make no money on this project, it's very time consuming, is that it is the opportunity to show that the ideas that change policing in America and change the crime situation in America are transferable. And I'm committed to that. I'm committed to the concept of community policing and problem-solving policing.
But that concept faces a far tougher test in Caracas than New York. It must overcome an imposing barrier where the law is corrupted, murder sanctioned, and there's precious little separating police from criminals.